Happy Monday, everybody. Welcome back to The Big Thing. The big thing today, it's going to be all about streaming and where are you getting your movies from. And the other part of it is this release thing working? The same day, Patty Jenkins thinks it stonks. And I have two experts on the movie business here today, and that's Bret Sheridan and Kate Mulligan. Man, did I pick the right guests for this show. I'm excited to talk to them. It's been a while since I got to talk to them both on camera, and they apparently do some show on SEN Patreon called the Bret and Kate Show, which I'm very excited to hear all about, and we'll talk about it in just a moment.
I can feel anger.
Perfect.
It gives you focus, makes you stronger.
Welcome back to The Big Thing. It is The Big Thing Show with the Sith Council music. I'm Kristian Harloff. Welcome back, everybody. If you already can tell what kind of show we're going to have in this shit piece today. Bret, tell me about this show.
Oh, man. Listen, you have two of the biggest movie pundits on the planet.
In the planet.
Pundit planet.
In the planet. And then there she is.
Listen, I am just so glad Kristian knew the name of our show. It's definitely just the Bret and Kate Show.
It's the Bret and Kate Show.
Just it's not Bret and Kate's Playdate.
No.
Nope. Just the Bret and Kate Show.
No.
So I'm glad. Thank you.
But I need you to do me a favor. Read this. What does this say for right there?
It says Harloff Cam.
Okay, what does this one say?
Co-host Cam.
And what's that one say?
Steph Cam.
So I gave that to you because I know how badly you wanted to be
Listen,
Steph today.
I honestly...
You got to see her on the way out.
I got to see her on the way out. Your neighbors are going to
You were hollering from the streets. I saw that.
I was just like, oh.
Yeah, you get excited when you see Steph.
Catcalling her. It was a little...
To be fair, I think we get excited when we see each other.
Yes.
Yes, we all did. All three of us.
Also...
Oh.
No.
Not us.
No.
Oh, okay.
No, Steph and I see each other.
I'm
just like, oh, it's the person I wish I was. And she's like, oh, it's the person I like that likes me. You know?
Well, there you go.
Yeah.
This is going to be a fun show because there's a lot of stuff we can catch up on. And all jokes aside, you can see Bret and Kate not only on their show, Bret and Kate's Playdate, on the SEN Live Patreon, but you can also find Bret 5 days a week, or at least 4, on Twitch, on the Schmodown channel, on SEN Live. That is 10 to 12 p.m. Kate Mulligan is on 2 days a week, 10 to 12 p.m. It's been going good. It's a lot of fun on the Twitch.
It is. We had we've had a couple of really fun days. I'm still, Twitch to me is still a real mystery.
Yeah.
I'm like, some bits. Also, they put up a poll the other day. Ben put up a poll in the chat.
Did you dance on it?
No.
Yeah.
and I danced on it.
Yeah.
And then they both Winston. There was about, does candy corn suck or not?
Oh yeah. What was the poll? What was the results?
If you have to, so Ben's paying some sort of coins to keep voting.
Bitcoins?
Yeah.
Whatever. Yeah. Bitcoins.
Yeah.
Some Dogecoin. Whatever they're called. Whatever those points are. And Winston was doing the same thing for his. So we have no idea what the actual results are.
Oh, you don't know what it was.
Because they were both just sitting there like.
I like candy corn. I don't mind
too.
it. Yeah, I like it.
I'm in the... I will eat any candy.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter.
Licorice?
Black licorice, even black licorice,
wow.
Anise is what I believe is the flavor.
I don't think it's anise. I think it's anise.
Anise.
But it's
It tastes like anise, I'll tell you that.
But yeah, no, there's not
anus.
a candy
That's
I won't.
I'll eat that anus, I'll tell you what.
Oh, yes, I'm just going to go right over there.
Yeah.
The chocolate, packs,
Kate's pickup
the
line
candy.
in 2007?
I will eat the anus.
I will eat anus.
He should have T-shirt. It was.
I'll eat the anus. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Bret. You were saying something super important about streaming.
That candy, I will eat all candy, and I hate when people will take a bite out of one in the chocolate things and not finish it because it's like if it's coconut or something, or if it's a raspberry. I'm like, then I have to finish.
You just got to
that.
finish it all.
Yeah.
Well,
but also, it is disappointing when you get the raspberry one.
You know what? It's still candy and chocolate. It's still.
I like raspberry.
I want the caramel.
Do you know what I've been eating? Because I can't eat anything.
Delicious.
Good anymore. However, I've been eating these yogurt bars, these frozen ice cream yogurt bars. Holy shit, these things are good. I like them. Yeah, there's so many different flavors.
What's the brand?
Who knows? The brand that I can eat, it's called, I don't know, Simple Truth.
Oh.
Is that what it's called?
Yeah.
So is it just the yogurt like the tube that you give the kids that you freeze?
No, it's it looks like an ice cream bar.
I guess.
And it's like there's like a raspberry cheesecake flavor, low calories. There's caramel, salted caramel. They're a very big fan of this, and mint chocolate chip.
If you like this kind of talk, you're going to love the Bret and Kate show. We talk about food a lot.
Do you?
You call it the Bret and Kate show now.
Bret and Kate. Bret and Kate. Don't even put her in the lead. It's Bret and Kate.
It is Bret and Kate's Playdate.
Yes.
Wait, I have to say, can we get it at Costco? That's all that matters to me.
I don't know. I mean, I get it at Ralph's.
Okay.
I get it at Ralph's, and I buy each flavor, and I have one every day after dinner.
Oh.
Every day.
Delicious.
It's delicious. I've been eating well. But I did want to talk to you guys because I know that for especially for parents, where going to the movies is not easy to do, especially now, but going to the movies in general, not easy to do, and we've all been kind of deep diving into television. First thing to ask both of you guys is what's on the tube in the Mulligan house right now?
I love that you say it's the Mulligan house because it's technically the Murphy house, and Mulligan just happens to live there.
You're on the camera more, so it's the Mulligan house.
It's the Mulligan house. That's right. Right now, Grizzly and the Lemmings. It's Netflix for the boys. Grizzly and the Lemmings. That's what James likes to watch. I don't know. It's like
it's kids. Bear. So what do you watch for yourself?
Oh, I thought you were saying what's on in the Mulligan house.
I'm talking about for yourself.
What?
When the
kids.
Start the show over. Come on, Kate. We've talked about this. You have a life outside of the kids.
I'm sorry. I forgot. I'm so sorry.
Do you though?
I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I really am sorry.
You do have a life outside the kids for a little bit of time to fold laundry.
And I can't believe I'm wasting it with you two asshats. I've been watching What We Do in the Shadows. It's an FX show that I watch on Hulu, and it's the funniest. The crush I have on Taika Waititi. But did you guys know he had a threesome like in public?
Oh yeah. Those pictures.
Yes.
I mean, he didn't have it. But it was. It looked like it was going that route. It looked like it was, and good for him.
What We Do in the Shadows. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, what do we do in the open?
Okay, if that's what you're doing in the open. But
I directed Thor. Yeah, you did.
Yeah, you did. Yes, you did.
We directed Thor right over this way.
Yeah. I'm
Put him to
IG
my
11.
Asgard. This is what we're doing on the Bret Kate
Check out this
show.
Ragnarok I got in my pocket.
I'm Ragnarok hard. You know what I'm saying? Whoa. Let's get this low key.
I just keep trying to figure out how to make IG-11 work, and it's not going to work, guys. IG-11.
Yeah, it is. What's that? My IG-11. Use it, baby.
I mean,
we have fun here.
We have fun, guys. We really do have fun.
It's really about fun, but it's also about being serious. What the fuck are you watching that isn't a child show? That's
right.
Not
what
that
we do
all
in the
animation
shadows.
is for children. We know that.
So Taika wipes his prick off.
Listen, Taika Waititi does no wrong.
Right.
He's just that New Zealand. I actually want to like go back and become a PhD in like cultural comedy because I have a theory.
So you're gonna say a PA on the set.
I want to be a PA on the set, and by PA I mean pussy alert. And just alert him when there's
right here.
It's right here. No, I think that New Zealand comedy like Jermaine Clement, Taika Waititi, I think like the Flight of the Conchords guys, like Reese Darby.
That show, man, I love that show.
I think that has got like I think everybody always talks about like what's better, British comedy or American comedy, and I feel like New Zealand has to be in that conversation.
Well, especially
really
those guys, but
especially those
so you
guys.
love this show. So I know the movie. I still haven't seen the movie, and I know that the movie is like people love the movie. And then have you been watching the show also?
I watched it. I didn't know. I don't know if there's a second season. Did you figure that out or not?
Of the TV show?
Because she was mad that I didn't tell her about this show.
I'm curious about this. He was like, "Oh yeah, it's great." I was like, "What? How long is this?" There's actually a third season coming out. There's 2 seasons on Hulu right now.
Okay, good.
And there's a 3rd season that's about to drop in like September. And the funny thing is, Dickie had worked on a kids television show. Are we allowed to talk about it, kids television, if it was a job?
Yes, as long as you're actually talking to the mic and not towards this way.
Okay.
Yeah.
So he was on the show. And I'll give you what you want, Kristian.
Thank you. She's talking to Palpatine over there. Might as well.
Oh my God. James loves Palpatine. Makes me nervous that he loves him. So,
Good.
Yes, IG-11. She's still trying to figure out how to make it work.
Finish your fucking point, will you?
What was my point?
No way. You're coming up with bits.
What What was my point?
I can't believe you haven't seen the film. I had to review that for one of the Bret.
I know.
Futures.
Well, I mean, you can't believe that I haven't seen it. Come on.
Well, that was back.
I know. It was back when I was seeing things.
Yeah.
No, I haven't. But you were talking about season 2 and season 3 was coming out on Hulu.
Yes.
Oh, Dickie used to work on a Nickelodeon show, and one of the recurring characters was this guy Harvey Guillen, who played a cousin on that show. And we were like, this guy's so talented. What is he doing on this children's show? Like, he's one of the leads on What We Do in the Shadows. And it's like such a nice. And
So
it's not that because like Thomas Lennon's been on that show that Dickie used to write on too. Because like, especially when you have kids, you think about it. Like, if your daughter's favorite television show is if you got your daughter's favorite actor that would come in and do an interview with you, I mean, greatest thing you could do for your kid.
So Vivian loves Mandalorian. Right.
Oh.
Katie's coming in next in like a couple of weeks, and like she loves Bo-Katan, so she loves Bo-Katan. So I'm gonna have, obviously, hopefully, Vivi's not in school when she's here.
No, you pulled Vivi out of school.
Yeah,
you do.
I know, but yeah. So absolutely, I know exactly how they might. This feels for sure.
So, but you're just like, so that's why all of these great guys are like will come and do a day player part or whatever on these shows. Nicole Sullivan did it too, but this guy Harvey Guillen, he doesn't have kids. But we were just like, this guy is such an asteroid.
So with,
he's just
with
like
Taika though. Does he direct these episodes? I know he's producer on it.
He
obviously.
writes a lot of them.
Of the TV show. How does this guy find the time?
I don't know because he's
between
he's,
having threesomes in an alley and
I mean, honestly, he must be writing.
He's not weighted down by all that cum that builds up. Am I right?
Spell it out.
I know. No, that's an inside joke between Lonnie and I.
What the
spelling it out just seems worse than saying it.
Yeah.
I thought the inside joke was that you heard it. Get rid of all that extra weight that's holding you down.
Oh yeah, that's
sorry about all that cum, baby. it's worse than saying it.
It really is because you got to go. Because you like take a split second once you spell it out and like your brain registers. You're
like taking time to think about it. Yeah. No thanks.
No, I'm good.
Sorry about all that cum.
But that builds up and you get sluggish. You know it'll work. Taika's not gonna. He doesn't have that problem.
That problem at all. Blasting off every fucking 20 seconds. But he's also speaking of blasting off, he's doing Star Wars. He's doing. Yeah. The guy's doing so much stuff, and it's not like he's just this guy's working too much. It's the quality's going down. It's all great stuff, and I've had an opportunity a few times to interview him, talk to him. He is a funny dude.
This is what I'm saying.
Funny dude.
I mean, Taika Waititi, am I right?
Right.
So we went.
See what I did?
He was working on Ragnarok. He was in like the final stages, and we did this thing. We went to. They brought us to like the Marvel place when we were walking around talking to people, and he was in the room by himself. Come on in, guys. We started talking to him. He showed us like a scene from the movie and all that. But then he came into Collider, and we did a couple like shoots with him, and then we were just hanging with him. And it's like he's not a guy that it's like. So Sean Pulaski is a friend of mine. Who's a comedian who ran these Comedy Store. Sean.
Yeah,
she used to run these. Did you ever go to her July 4th parties?
Oh yeah, with you.
Okay, so they were great.
That's how great they were. You don't remember I went?
I honestly, dude. Honestly, I believe. But Kate, these parties were great.
Oh yeah.
And you always got a story from them, and
a lot of cum.
Yes, and craziness. But in general, craziness. But the one thing that I hated the most about it is anytime you're in a pocket of anybody, they're all comedians.
Oh, yeah.
So every time,
bits.
it's everybody's just like, you could see people in their eyes like waiting on and throwing. That's not Taika Waititi. Taika Waititi in the conversation, it just, as you and I are having a conversation right now, whatever just happens to flow out of his mouth, it's funny.
Yeah.
Right? It's not like he's setting it up. Here we go. And even if he is, you can't tell.
Right.
So he's.
I just made him so much hotter.
I'm a massive fan of him. From what he does, and which is even more baffling that I've never watched this show.
I'm telling you.
The film was what we figured out was 2013.
Yeah, it's really early.
I was concerned that the show wouldn't be. I mean, because to follow that film to do the show, I was like, this isn't gonna work. This can't be, and it's without them being the characters because he was in it,
right?
And Jermaine was in it, right?
Yes.
And so it's like,
and they have one cameo in the show. There's like they go to before the Vampiric Council.
Oh yeah.
And Jermaine and Taika are in it.
Yeah.
And it's just, it's like their sensibilities completely.
I do, to to no one's surprise, this is like you could play a recording of me saying this at this point. Started with my wife. Watched a little bit of it. No. And we moved on.
Oh, of the film?
Of the TV show.
Of the TV show.
You know, of the film. No, of the film.
Oh,
of
really?
the film. Of the film.
There's something about these actors, too. I am a sucker for great acting in a show. I'm sure some people are like, my thing is I want good writing.
Of course.
But for like some people are like, I love directing. It's got to be good. For me, it's got to be good acting.
Yeah.
Because you can say any line and make it not shitty.
100%.
You know what I mean?
Well, so this is why I've been, like I said, I was on every show I try to do it, mention The Sopranos, and I'm about season 5 now into The Sopranos at the moment. But there is a scene, because Sadie doesn't watch it with me, but for that one, I don't give a shit. I'm just watching it because I want to finish this whole thing, because it's coming out on my birthday, the new movie, right? So I've been watching it, but
October
I called it.
1st.
There you go. So I called her over, and I said, Sadie, you got to watch this, because she appreciates good acting.
Yeah.
Right? So it's a scene in season 4 where, do you know the show? Do you
Ish. I mean, I know. I've talked with you before, so I know most things from you.
Well, so they, Tony.
I know the basic premise.
Well, Tony has had many Gumars and throughout the years, and Carmela just has it. Like it's I've been quoting this so much that I shit you not, my 3.5-year-old has been saying the following: "Is this Mrs. Sopranos?" If I say to my 3.5-year-old, "Is this?" she'll go, "Mrs. Sopranos," right? And so his Russian Gumar, who he was with for a while, calls her up and says, "He's been fucking my cousin," right? And telling and so Carmela just like loses it, and they have this fight, and it's such an authentic East Coast fight. Because he comes home, he runs over his golf clubs that are in the thing because she threw them out the window. He's throwing all his shit out the window. And then he's like, "Con, what's going on?" And she goes, "Get out of here, you shitbag." And I'm like, that's it was so real. And he runs up the stair and they just have, before you guys leave, I'm going to show you the scene. Because I can't show you on the air, obviously, because of the copyright. But it is such a great scene, knowing exactly what you're talking about. The acting that brings out the power. It's also, obviously, you got to have good writing inside of it, though, too. 100%.
There are some, but I'm just saying there are some people who are like, oh, I don't care if the acting's terrible, but if the writing, because some people are like Breaking Bad, it's the writing's incredible.
All of it. You got
but it's also like, but also you
can't have the actor to
Walter
develop.
White
100%.
and the Chicken Man to Gus Fring.
You could have great writing, but if the person can't deliver it the right way, and you don't, and it's not believable or likable. Yeah. We just did this whole thing on Friday for the for a rewatch of Attack of the Clones for Star Wars, right? And it's like, and Hayden Christensen, if you look at a lot of his stuff, he's a good actor. He was in that Attack of the Clones. George Lucas was not helping him as far as performance wise. Yeah. It's just the writing is terrible in that movie overall, and that's why I'm so glad he's getting another shot in Obi-Wan series that's coming out. So, but Bret, what are you watching right now?
I hate after you talked about it. Not my kids. After you talked about it, we did Paradise. We did Bachelor.
Oh, you're watching Bachelor?
Because I was like, I gotta watch this.
And was I right?
Yeah, it's a train wreck.
It's a train wreck,
and I'm actually enjoying it. I'm like, is it on? Or are there 2 this week or whatever?
Yeah, I thank God the guy stopped with this fucking hog flipping out all over the place. And he's
ridiculous. Like, he had you could see his mic pack.
He had
that
something
was dumb.
on.
That was
dumb. Stupid.
But I love the confusing David Spade for David Chappelle.
Oh, that was the one I talked about. So one of the girls says, "Oh, it was really great to see Dave Chappelle." And it's David Spade, and it wasn't like misplacing it. It was like she legit she was an imbecile.
David Spade wishes.
David Spade was very funny on that show, but they false advertised that fucking shit. He's only in like 1.5 episodes, and he's like, "Oh, now you got a new host," and then they give you Lance Bass.
Yeah,
and it's like,
they're switching up the host.
It's different. Lance Bass, he's all right. I'm just never an NSYNC guy, but like he's either way and David Spade says to what's the one girl, what's the blonde, the crazy one,
Demi.
So this one who causes all the shit.
Yeah.
She comes in, and last year she had a girlfriend on the beach, or 2 years ago. She had a girlfriend on the beach, and so she got engaged to the girl. They broke off. All this. So David Spade goes, so who are you hunting for this year, right? And she's like, oh, I can go. It's like I like men, I like women, but I'm gonna be looking towards men because he says to her, he goes, you looking for the P, or you looking for the D? That's what he says to her. And I was like, that's why for people like when people like anytime on Collider Live or anything, we brought this up like, oh, stop talking. It's like this is what I'm trying to tell you. This show is just if it didn't have the Bachelor name to it, and it is just a car crash all the way around, and a good show to watch with a significant other for sure.
Because you just goof on it the whole time. And the things they get upset about, like so Demi got upset about something. It's just like, and then people that it's like when they get kicked off of something, like, or they leave, that I guess there's no chance for me. You're 23. Shut the fuck up.
I know.
You're hot. You're 23. You didn't win this game show. Shut up.
It's because the producers are master manipulators.
Oh,
I've been there.
Oh yeah,
I've been there, and they know how to get these people in a frenzy. They know how to get them to do what they want. And are they friendly to them, and do they become friends with them? Yes, 100% they do. Are they also? I had a guy say to me, who's no longer there, but he was there when they were like, and I've told this story many times over. When I was working there, I was before Bachelor in Paradise. It was Bachelor Pad, and that was the spinoff show that they were going to continue. But you think this is great? This was like. This should have been on VH1 or MTV. Like people fucking in the house and doing games and all this, but really like this is more rock of love than it was. This one at least fits like we're looking for love. Yeah. But this guy they wanted me to be a producer and start traveling along to be on all over the world and do all this stuff. And my first kid hadn't even been born yet. But we were going to try. So I knew. Plus the fact, I don't want to be a fucking producer on The Bachelor. I wanted to work there, and I wanted to build. I was building up schmoes at the time, so I was doing all that, and I was in the post stuff. I would be there for the house and watching everything, but then I was back at the office, which is not too far away, and I would just fucking bagel Tuesdays. It was perfect. I would have some coffee, and I just watch footage, and it was perfect. But they wanted me to because I did Bachelor Pad, and I worked with a lot of people on like William Holman, who I'm still friends with. Right, they had this conversation, and the guy said to me, he goes, you cannot look at these people like people. You have to look at them as characters. They are not real people. They are characters. You have to go in with that mindset. Otherwise, you get attachment and you can't do your job. And I remember leaving that meeting going, all of that made sense. It is not for me.
Yes.
I was like, I understand. Like, that's how you're going to make a successful show out of this, but that is not for me.
That's funny, because I actually feel like you would be very good at that. I feel like you have a great writer's mind in terms of like storylines.
I was good. I was good on this show. Like Bachelor, like they wanted me to do it, and I turned down going on the road. I turned down all that stuff because if I wanted to, hey, we really need some sound bites out of Kate. We got to get her talking about whatever, It's like you got to, and it's like, all right,
CUM.
Yeah. But whatever. It's like, get her talking about it. Did she fool around with so and so? Like, see if you can bring it up. See if you can get her talking about it. Or talk about why she doesn't like so and so. Just get her talking about it a few times, and they would talk about it on camera. But wait, go back to what you just said. And then like, I got it. It's like that type of thing. That's what you have to do as a reality TV producer. It's like it's part of it. But like, I just like that's not for me. No. I felt I made attachment. Like, so one of the girls that I became kind of close with on the set, her name was Gia. She was a sweetheart, New York girl. She killed herself like a couple of years afterwards too, and she was. I
didn't see that story going there.
No. Wow. No. But I remember I worked with her just on that show alone.
Yeah.
But for that, a couple months.
Do you feel like it was your fault?
It's not that one. But no, she was a sweetheart. She was a real. But I worked for 2 months, and I remember being just like so fucking bummed when it happened, and I'm like, I'm not even close to the kind of relationship that a lot of these producers have with these people, and be able to do that. I'm sure that it's tough, man. So, but some of the shit they get these people to do is incredible. They have people show up in like cat costumes and shit. These people don't think of this stuff. Like the producers go put on a fucking cat costume and they show up the show, Derek.
a game now. I think it started out kind of like we used to have to convince our friend that like they're not looking for love. You know that, right? This is kind of, but she's nobody really loves it. No, okay.
Some of these fuckers have kids.
Yeah, it happens.
Yeah.
But for the most part, the people that are watching or that are on it now watched it since they were old enough to watch it and know it's a game and know if I'm the crazy girl that gets drunk and spills wine all over the place, then I'm gonna come back the next night because the producers want me to come back and cause havoc.
And that's why there's always a villain, and the villain you can always predict it. It's just like, oh, is the villain gonna go home? No, it's episode 1. The villain's gonna not get sent home until fucking episode 3. If you pay attention to the way that it's planned out, it's a structure. Why I'm not? I mean, I watched that when my wife was watching it on Mondays, but like I said, I've been watching. Everything I'm watching is all either old school shit or stuff like rewatching the Star Wars movies, which has been a lot of fun. The prequels have been fun to rewatch for sure.
Were you? I forget. You liked the prequels always.
Not always. No.
But I'm saying like your least favorite of the 9 is Last Jedi, even though you think it's the best made.
Yes, I think out of the 3, as far as being a well-made film, there's no argument against it being. Anyone who says it's not a well-made film is wrong. I want to give all of
the sound bites so that no one comes for you.
That's true. But storylines.
To be clear,
yes, but storylines and actual enjoyment of movie, it's one of my least favorite.
Yes.
And Attack of the Clones used to be right.
Okay.
I watched Attack of the Clones last night, and I've said this. If you want to watch the full breakdown of it, it's on this channel, and it's Mike Kalinowski, myself, and Steph talked about it on Friday, but it was it's not a very well written movie. It's a poorly written movie. But if you watch it like an episode of the Clone Wars and you look at what it overall does, the way it ties into the rest of the saga, including the animated series and the movies themselves, it plays. It plays well.
That's exactly what I was going to say about it. I actually like it. Of the prequels, that's my favorite.
Attack of the Clones is.
Yes. Wow. Because I'm a Clone Wars girl.
And because you can relate.
That's when I had to watch it chronologically.
Did you watch Bad Batch?
Not yet.
Okay, so
finished.
If you go back and watch Attack of the Clones after you watch Bad Batch, you'll like it even more because of the stuff that ties into cloning and all. And there's a lot of stuff with Camino and all that. So I find myself, to answer your question, I did not like when although I saw Phantom Menace in the theater like 6 times when in college. I saw it because I was being a massive Star Wars fan going. I remember I went stoned on mushrooms one time when I went, and I went and. Eventually, I remember my buddy telling me, "I don't know how you like this movie. It's terrible," and I'm like, "Oh man, I'm digging it." And then eventually, as I started, I looked at it in different, like after they were all over, those first 3 movies were over, the prequels. I said, "That's all we're getting," because that's what they said. You get no more Star Wars movies. That's it. Yeah. It's over now. And I'm like, well, "That's it. We're not getting any continuation of Luke. We're not going to find out how this happened. We're not like it's completely different tone from what the original trilogy is." And I started, and I stick by the fact they're not very well-written movies, and they're not intended for adults. These movies are not intended for adults. The same way I think that the original trilogy is a balance of 2. Mm-hmm. Prequels are made for children, and I realized that I started to find a love for them when I watched Phantom Menace with my oldest about a year ago or so. She watched it, and I watched it through her eyes, and the way that she saw it was the way that like Steph Sabra saw it when she was like 9 years. She was like my daughter's age when she saw it in the theater, right? And
that came out 2 years ago.
Exactly, but
same thing with me with Blake. Yeah. I was like, he wasn't hating on the CGI or any of the story.
That's exactly what I was
that's the thing. He didn't see that.
Speeders.
No.
Yeah, he was like,
all that.
And it was, the main character's a kid, and
you watch it through their eyes, and you find a different appreciation for it. That was part 1, and then part 2 was after, because remember at the time there was no Clone Wars series, there was no Rebels, there was none of these other series. Once you put it as an overall part of it, I started to appreciate it a lot more. And I watched Phantom Menace, which was the one that I used to think I liked the least, but I actually I enjoy that movie more and more every time I watch it. And Attack of the Clones, there's a lot of problems with it. I mean, it's still, we talk about it in depth on Friday about how Anakin is basically just like a kind of a creepy stalker for the whole, and angry like the whole movie. But because you know where he goes inside of the Clone Wars series and what his persona is, it all plays now. So revisiting it's been a lot of fun. So I've been watching that. I've been watching the Sopranos, obviously. What else did I absolutely watched the gallery thing. Did you watch the gallery?
No, I haven't.
There's a new one for Luke Skywalker. Did you watch the gallery series ever?
I did. I watched the first couple of those.
Okay, so the gallery series for season 1, there was like 6.
Yeah.
For season 2, there was only 1, and there was where's the one? The whole thing about Luke. Well, they did that. Oh. This whole episode is just about how they did Luke.
Oh,
and
fantastic.
it's great. That one's on there. I have gotten so close to hitting play on the Suicide Squad. I feel like Did you watch it yet?
No, but
you have.
I see that it's leaving.
Yeah, he's the only one that's seen it.
It's
When's it leaving?
On like September 5th.
I have to watch it. I'm gonna have to watch it like this week. I have to. I just gotta power through. Not the movie, but I just gotta, because this fucking dog. I love him to death, but he's a baby.
Yeah.
So he wakes me up every morning. He wakes me up now at like. And I'll give him all the credit in the world, because some dogs, they just whine and cry and everything. He wakes up 3:30 in the morning, looks up and goes, I got to piss or shit. Your decision. Am I going to do it on the rug, or we're going to go outside, Jack? What do you got? And I take him out.
Rug.
Yeah, I take him outside. Yeah, I shit in the rug. And then I take him outside. He goes, he does his thing. But the problem is he gets amped up after he takes a dump, and he wants to play.
Yeah.
At 3:30 in the morning. So there's one or two things that I've been doing now. I go and I lay on the couch from 3:30 until my kids wake up now, because I don't want to keep my wife up also. So I'm laying on the couch. So I either have this pink fucking toy that I'm playing with him, or I just let him chew my hand to shit, right? And he's got these sharp little motherfucking teeth that it doesn't feel good. And I'm just like, so he's been keeping me up. And I was supposed to be watching, I had to power through Attack of the Clones. And I got to a certain point, and I woke up and I go, I just missed a whole scene. I just passed out on the couch. I was so tired. So I had to rewatch it in the morning. But yeah, so it is very hard. Ted Lasso's one that I have in my head. I'm like, I need to watch the Suicide Squad. Yeah. I still need to watch Mortal Kombat, which I don't even know if I can watch that anymore for now. Cruella, by the way, is on Disney Plus.
It is. Okay.
Oh, it is.
It just released today, I think, or Friday.
Video Drew actually had a birthday party where
as
she
Cruella?
rented out.
Oh.
Well, she was dressed as Cruella, but she rented out a theater, and she invited. This is at Universal Studios. This was like June, maybe.
Okay.
May? But she invited a bunch of us, and so she invited me and Neil to come, which I thought was so
that's
nice.
sweet.
So we got to go in a private theater with just.
Oh, and you watched
people.
the movie. Oh,
so
you saw
I watched it in the theater, because it was the only way I was going to take Neil to a theater.
First of all, how great. The movie was a lot of fun. Music was fantastic in that film. And how great was our boy Paul Walter Hauser?
Love Paul Walter Hauser. I mean, there's not a thing I've seen him in that I haven't loved him in.
I think, and I wouldn't say this on the air with Mike, but I think Paul Walter Hauser has a good chance of beating Mike Kalinowski in the tournament, in the singles tournament. Yeah, they're playing each other. Yeah.
Whisper it, nobody will hear it.
Yeah, I think there's a chance. So Paul Walter Hauser, for those people who don't know, is playing Mike Kalinowski.
I didn't realize he was in the tournament. That's exciting.
It's going to be good.
That's awesome.
It's going to be good.
Did Cruella change your views about because you didn't want to see Nurse or Ratchet because you didn't want people that are evil to be. I remember you talking about this. You
I was like, why are we glorifying the villains?
Yeah.
Great. Because I'm going to ask you this, Kate. So that's a great. I think that we're probably on the same page, because it's why I really didn't like Maleficent, right? Because Maleficent, their first movie, they changed it, and she's not really mad. She's not really evil. She's not evil. She's just pissed off because she was slighted. But even though she is slighted, she's not evil. It's like, Maleficent's fucking evil.
Yeah.
You watch that movie, she's evil. Cruella, you didn't see Cruella.
No, I want to. No. Yeah.
Cruella, they do it right. They do it right. Like you see why she turns into an asshole and why she stays an asshole. Yeah.
She's trod on.
Yeah. And we liked Ratchet, and because they weren't trying to make her. They showed she was.
What I don't want is like a movie called like McVeigh, like humanizing a dude that blew up the Oklahoma City. Like I don't need to know what horrible things befell him, because like one thing that didn't happen to him is he didn't have his child in a daycare that was then blown up by somebody else, because that's what he did to people. So like I'm not
so realistic stuff, but I think like
Well, I thought
Ratchet and Cruella.
Cruella, I thought Cruella's, because you saw the movie. I thought Cruella, the way that they kind of set up.
They're not real people, right? Cruella and Nurse.
What do you mean?
But yeah, no, they're not.
She didn't get that. She didn't want Dalmatians. She didn't want.
No.
There's not a woman didn't make.
No.
There's not a woman named Cruella DeVille.
She was a cartoon.
Yeah.
But she looked so real. Anita, darling.
Yeah, but there was. I mean, it is fun. Like Emma Stone, I thought had a lot of fun with it too.
It's good. Again,
but,
that's another person she can do no wrong.
But that actually plays into what I think the overall topic of this show. What I wanted to talk about. And before I do that, ladies and gentlemen, because we are going to talk about streaming and places to go, shave your balls. Shave your fucking balls. I am so excited for you guys to hear more about this because people have been, and if you've been scrolling around on YouTube lately, if you have or have not, have you seen the MANSCAPED ads? Jamie Costa is all over the MANSCAPED ads.
Really?
He's everywhere. And there's a great ad where the girl comes up to him and she's like, "Hi, how are you?" And he goes, "Girl. And the guy goes, "Guy, dude, come on." He hands him a package of the MANSCAPED. And you got to get support. You got to get support for your balls, but support for the big thing is brought to you by MANSCAPED. Who better to be a partner of the big thing than MANSCAPED? I mean, come on. Who is the best in men's below-the-waist grooming? They are the champions of the world. It's MANSCAPED. They offer precision-engineered tools for your family jewels. MANSCAPED. They just launched their 4th-generation trimmer, the Lawnmower 4.0. Bret came over today and said, "Hey, you got MANSCAPED?" I was like, "Yeah, I got it. I don't have that 4.0, though, or the nose trimmers." I said, "Today you do, Pally." So I'm going to give him one of those. The 4.0, 2 million people worldwide, they trust MANSCAPED. And with this exclusive offer for you guys, you get 20% off and free worldwide shipping with the code BIGTHING at manscaped.com. Imagine shaving with a sleek, well-designed and optimized trimmer that makes shaving time your favorite time in the bathroom. I'm not lying to you when I tell you that when I got this thing, I tried it out, and I equate it to the Terminator ship. You know, the one that they show in the future when it's got that big light and they can find find all the humans running around. That was like, and it was so great. Then you get the ball deodorant and all that. Sadie even was like, because Ellis came by and we were gonna give him the package, and she goes, "It works." And he's like, "Yeah, I got one of them." She's like, "No, the ball deodorant, it works." My wife is a big fan of MANSCAPED now, and I am one of the first people to try the new 4.0, and I'm telling you, I swear by it, and you should get it. It's even if you have anything, no matter what you have, upgrade to the 4.0. I'm blown away by the performance, the craftsmanship, the details. It's just it's next level. MANSCAPED engineered the ultimate groin and body trimmer by focusing on intelligent functionality and an incredibly comfortable grooming experience. The 4th-generation trimmer features a cutting-edge ceramic blade to reduce grooming accidents thanks to their advanced skin-safe technology. I feel so comfortable doing it because I'm not going to lie. Like anything you put things near your balls, you're like, this is scary. Like you do it very gently. But this thing, and it just, I'm like, oh, this feels wonderful. The Lawnmower 4.0 even allows you to customize your trim through additional guard lengths. It's got a bunch of different blades, 1 through 4. And it's got wireless charging. That's the best. Wireless charging. The new wireless charging system uses electromagnetic induction, which can help battery length last longer. Get your ball hair and your body trimmer trimmed up with MANSCAPED to make me time the best time and enhance your confidence with some nice, smooth balls. Get 20% off and free shipping with that code, BIGTHING at manscaped.com. Your balls are going to thank you. Apparently, you can make them talk. 20% off, free shipping. Use that code, BIGTHING at manscaped.com. That's one more time. That's 20% off, free shipping at manscaped.com. Use that code, BIGTHING. Unlock your confidence and always use the right tools for the job with MANSCAPED. I love MANSCAPED. Dickie's got it or what?
No, Dickie doesn't have it.
You don't want him to.
Well, I'm not good for this ad. I'm not good
because
for this.
you like a bush.
I love sucking on the hair.
Really?
I really do.
Why is that? You get it in your mouth?
Yes.
Oh, you like that?
Don't you want to be filthy?
Don't you want to be filthy?
Don't you want to be? Are you okay?
He's like, my mom watches this show. Don't you want to be filthy? That's my favorite line I've ever heard.
Want to be filthy? There's just
Go ahead, Kate. Let me give the floor is yours. Go ahead.
I think now I could be wrong.
Yeah,
I could be wrong. I think.
Spit it out.
I think
literally.
sucking the hair into your mouth and then sort of tugging on it.
While it's still attached, not like spitting at him.
No, like giving the. And then,
Making
you
sick.
put the whole... Okay, well. Yeah. I like it.
Hey, Whatever makes. Hey, you're married for a handful of years, so you're doing something right.
Hey, can we get you guys been selling a lot of Manscaped, but then Kate comes in and kind of.
You're like, yeah. But that being said, I actually think that all that matters really is a person's confidence, and I do think that like this is obviously a device that makes people feel way more.
I don't like having a lot of stuff down there.
I think that's
it is.
I think that's true for a lot of people, and I think that all that matters is like in the bedroom that you are confident. And
but I'm look, and you know what? Get the thing, and it also, and especially if you have two of them, you can. Because I'm going to the barber. You just shave your head with the fucking thing.
Well, for the record, that is something that we have to do for both my
there you go.
son and my husband.
Right, so get one of those. Yeah. They're great razor.
Yeah.
Phenomenal.
No, I know. We should.
Phenomenal.
That's the people I did. I should have done that. But did my last ad as Arnold. Should have done the Manscaped one as Busey.
Yeah.
If you make sure that you shave your balls, and you should do it because it feels it feel nice if you take one of those razors and you put up there. Don't chop tomatoes with it because you chop tomatoes, you go right up chop your own tomato. That's not good. Good. God only original devils. What does that mean? I don't know, but what I can tell you is that you have to make sure to shave your balls. Manscaped, Manscaped.com. Use the big thing. I used the big thing one time to kill a raccoon in my backyard, but we wound up trying to kill the backyard. Kill the backyard himself. I took a big grenade, threw it out in the backyard. Backyard didn't die because apparently backyards are not alive creatures. But the raccoon did not kill the raccoon. Raccoon sat down next to me, had some breakfast. We made some eggs. A raccoon apparently was not an egg. It was a donut that I left in the toaster.
It's the thing that's really unnerving about that is like all of that. You have like access to all of that. just right there.
He just takes over.
Just hanging in your frontal lobe.
He just
ready to come out.
Because what happens is in my head, I'm not here anymore, and all I see is Gary sitting next to a raccoon, and they're eating donuts.
And true to Kristian improv skills, he not only negates other people, he negates himself
and put an animal.
And put an animal in there. Puts animal in it. Yes, there's an animal, but it's not an animal. It's also a chair, and it's like And then he had an egg, but it wasn't an egg. It was actually like yes, Kristian no-ands himself.
Yeah,
no follow
rules.
Can I tell you the other day I did something that I thought was so funny and nobody laughed at it, but honestly, actually Alex Marzonia did, but somebody
hair in your mouth.
Well, yeah, I put a hair in my mouth and I lost my teeth with it. No, excuse me. I was like I accidentally negated somebody when we were improvising about something, and I was like, I mean, yes and no. That's what I said. If you start yes and, then you can still say no because I yes anded you.
That's
yes
right.
and no.
Yes and no.
It's the best thing to do to people during an improv thing.
Yeah.
Like, I'm just going to sit in that chair. That's not a chair. That's a blowtorch. Okay, I got to blowtorch this room together.
Yeah. Well, where'd the elephant come in?
Yeah. And tell me about the squirrel.
You're doing what with a squirrel? You should be at home shaving your balls with Manscaped, not sucking hair out of a grown man's ball sack.
Taint.
His asshole is right there.
Yeah. Fine with it.
For me, it's the moisture that can build up there.
That ball deodorant. Well,
yeah.
I'm telling you, whether you like whatever you're doing down there or not, the ball deodorant will make you probably go back for thirds.
I think don't you guys have a pheromone thing though? I'm just like
for sure.
I will live in my husband's
Ball
armpit if I could. There's something I smell it and I'm like I'm done.
You should live in the woods.
I should.
Yeah.
It's like a wild animal come running at you. I'm home.
Yeah.
Lay down.
Yeah.
And I'm done with you. Just leave him in a pile of leaves.
Like, don't you guys remember like when you got together with your now spouse? Like, wasn't like you'd smell their neck or
100%.
you're like, oh.
I recently was telling Lonnie, I'm like, what happened when like you woke up and you tell me that I smelled like maple syrup on my neck?
Yeah.
And she
Whatever
doesn't do
happened
that.
to
Yeah, and it's just
went away, dude.
Yeah, it's like what was that? Just because I smelled like cigarettes and smelled like maple syrup?
Yeah. Did you smoke?
Oh yeah.
How long? How many years?
I've smoked.
You still smoke?
No. It was about 10 years. We did right before Blake was born. I quit.
Remember you with cigarettes?
Yeah. But I was never one of these people. Like I knew people that would get up and just immediately light a cigarette. I always had to have like a drink in hand, a cocktail or something like that. It was something.
There's the Bret I know.
Yeah. A lot of people that needed to have a couple of drinks with it.
But even anything that was like, I knew somebody that would wake up, walk out on the porch, start smoking. I'm like, you have had no liquid in your body.
I got lucky, man. I'll tell you what. I smoked cigarettes for like 1 week when I was like 16. What? 1 week. My great influence. My ex-girlfriend bought me a pack of cigarettes for my birthday, and I smoked for 1 week. And this guy at pizzerias, this guy Tony at the pizzeria.
This is made up.
I swear to God. I swear to God. He took it and he told my mother, which actually, and I was pissed off at the time, but it was a good thing because I also didn't like it. That was part one. And then I went to college. I've talked about this before, but I was tripping on acid at one point in college. And
cigarettes were the gateway drug.
Yes.
Now I hear it.
But I was, and I remember being out with my buddy Chris Jones, right? And we were out. They had like this swing out in the back of. I went to Iona College my first year before I went to Florida State. I went to Iona College, and there was like this swing, and we were out there tripping nuts in this big open like field where they had in the back. And he's like, dude, take a hit of the cigarette, man. It's crazy when you're tripping, right? And I hadn't smoked since that time, and because I was tripping, I took a hit, and I felt like the toxic, like poison in my lungs. I felt it. Like I felt, maybe it's because of the acid was enhancing it.
Yes.
But I felt it, and I'm like, never again. I have, to this day, have never picked up a cigarette.
Do you know I've never in my life smoked, not even
Good.
had a hit of a cigarette.
It is such, it is, that to
Don't
me.
ask about weed,
like,
but.
Yep. I smoked last night on weed. But that to me is.
We did it. We'd go out to the river. And we'd share.
Just like a Bruce Springsteen.
No, for real.
Down by the river, smoking cigarettes.
No joke.
Baby.
It was the best place to go. Nobody was around, and we would share one or like, and it was like, okay, we promise we're not gonna smoke anymore as soon as we stop, because you'd get like a head buzz and stuff like that. It actually nicotine will give you a buzz.
I don't like that.
And
although I did do chew once, and chew. That was like spring break in college, and like I wanted to like hang with the dudes.
Ugh.
Wow, that makes
disgusting.
you tingly.
No,
that makes you not feel things. And then I puked and puked and puked and puked.
And I just kept doing it. And I hope my kids never do. The worst part right now, to get on my soapbox, it's too easy for kids to start smoking because it tastes like fucking candy.
Yeah, vaping.
Yeah.
Like, no, you go get a Marlboro Red, and then you try smoking with that.
Try smoking with a Marlboro Red. Get all you kind of fucked up. You have a really dizzy spinning thing in your head. Hey, I remember one time I was out on the floor. Yeah, I was smoking a lot and I hit my head, banged myself out the door. No, I didn't. I went somewhere else instead and hanging out with an animal. Said it was alright, he was not a cannibal. No, he didn't say that. What he said was, hey, everybody's cool. Took some donations and then I bought a pool.
How about the fact that you said Camel and Cool, which are both cigarette brands?
Oh.
How about it?
Fucking brilliant.
Yeah.
No, I didn't do that.
I've heard enough acid stories to know why sometimes things are started as squirrels and then they're not actually squirrels. It wasn't actually a squirrel, it was a trash can. You know, I mean, like, okay, that makes sense now.
Makes sense. Every time, always assume that when I'm doing it, I'm talking about being on acid while I'm doing it. That way it makes more sense.
Well, we recently saw Hot Rod where he's taking Bill Hader to the hospital and he's on acid and he goes, hospital, and points to the trash can. He goes, nope.
I need to see that movie again because I saw it once.
I love that movie.
I saw it once in the theater and I walked out and like.
Really?
I need to revisit it. To be fair.
How many movies have you walked out? Can you count on two hands?
No. I remember the first one I ever walked out on was Bushwhacked with Daniel Stern.
Okay.
That one I remember, and that was it was $1. Paid $1 theater in Florida. Mark Ellis and I walked out of year one. We had an agreement that once a year, each one of us could walk out of one of the screenings together, and you have to follow. And the year one in Sex and the City was we both used it.
Okay.
That was brutal. The second movie. But no, Hot Rod I had done. It was a double feature. I just watched one of the Harry Potter movies, which was like 3 hours long or something.
Yeah.
And then I walked in with my buddy Mike to watch Hot Rod, and we're like, this isn't hitting for us. Let's get the fuck out of here. And so we left. But I should probably check it out.
It's dumb. I mean, it's dumb.
Well, it's all right, though.
And you have to like how dumb it is to, that the adults are playing people that are, in.
Do you hate Andy Samberg?
No. Do you? That's what I was just going to ask you. Were you around? You weren't around back then. Were Rebels of Comedy and White Boy Comedy when he used to perform on the shows?
I'll murder you all. What do you mean he used to perform on the shows? So
Andy and I used to do shows together at the Improv and everything too, and so. Andy Samberg, I went up right after Andy Samberg. I remember at the Improv. This is 2004. I have a T-shirt that I'll show. It's so funny. It's the Rebels of Comedy, and it's got his name, my name on the whole thing.
Dude, I love him.
Yeah, so he was always. I always got along with him very well. And then, where I lived on Blackburn, there was a laundry place over there that I used to do my laundry at, and he used to do his laundry all the time. So I used to before he blew up, obviously. Not now. That'd be a problem. But
They're just like us.
Well, he's not. But he honestly though, he honestly is a really good dude.
Oh, I
remember when he had just blown up and Lazy Sunday came out and all that shit came out, and I was we went to this Grammy party or some shit that my buddy Eric got us into, and he shows up and he's got like a fucking entourage with him because he just blown up, and. I was like, I didn't know how he was going to act because I'd seen him and I was like, hey, Andy, how you doing, brother? He's like, it's Harloff. I said, what the hell? I didn't know. And I said, I didn't think you'd recognize me. He's like, what the fuck are you talking about? We used to do shows all the time. He's like, how you doing? And I was like, great. And I just let him, everybody was bothering him, so I left him alone. But I haven't seen him since. That was the last time I saw him. I saw him. I just
always think of him as such a New Yorker, so he came up out here.
I don't know if he came out here, but he was here for a bit. Yeah. Because that's when at that laundry place that I used to see him there all the time.
Maybe just flew from New York to do his laundry.
Just to do his laundry,
like
but at the Improv. But yeah, because he was, and then he was auditioning. I remember he was auditioning he was working stuff out because he was going to audition for Saturday Night Live.
Yeah.
Because Franco was like, yeah, Andy's coming in to do a spot because he's auditioning for Saturday Night Live tonight or next week. Wow. And so and I remember, I used to talk to him shit all the damn time. He was a really funny
you
dude.
and I both loved Palm Springs.
Loved Palm Springs.
Loved Palm Springs. And also, were you a fan of Brooklyn Nine-Nine?
No.
That's funny. You weren't.
No. I haven't tried. I think I tried a little bit of it.
It didn't hit for me.
I think Chelsea Peretti is so funny.
Okay, but I mean, Palm Springs was great.
Yeah,
it was great. But the one bit that he did on Saturday Night Live, because I remember Winkleman. I remember watching Saturday Night Live because I said my guy I used to do comedy with is on Saturday Night Live now. He's like, who? And I was like, this guy Andy Samberg. And he did, in the first one that I remember seeing him do with Winkleman was he did the Swedish Chef from the Muppets. Did you ever see this?
No.
And he did him.
I don't remember any sketches he was in.
I
just remember
just like the digital stuff. But you remember he was the Swedish Chef and it was hysterical. And I was like, okay, he's gonna fucking pop, and he did. He's had.
But I don't feel like they used him in a lot of sketch stuff.
No,
did they?
he revitalized SNL with the digital
shorts.
Because the Lonely Island stuff that he was doing.
That
forever,
was. Like big for them, and they've continued to do it.
Of course,
but not to the same extent. Obviously, he was the guy that he represented a generation of the digital YouTube and all that stuff. He brought that over because I remember being at Warner Brothers and these things popping up, and Lazy Sunday was that was it, and then Dick in a Box and all that shit too. Yeah. Anyway, getting back to
speaking of dicks in a box.
Yeah, well, but. Same conversation as you mentioned the What We Do in the Shadows. That's Hulu, right?
Yes.
Obviously Disney Plus. We watch a lot of shit on. What would you say is and this is a question for the audience also when you're commenting. And I've been commenting back to everybody, so make sure you please leave a comment. It's been fun, to be honest. It reminds me of like 2008, where I go back and having conversation with people and engaging with the audience. It's been something I think that I needed to kind of. It's kind of revitalized my love for doing this again, and the audience has been great. I did a Facebook post on my Facebook page that I haven't done in like years. My Facebook page, not like my normal. And there was so much, and I basically told people about this channel and I let people know about it. And a lot of people didn't know about it, and some people were honest. Some people said that they had fallen off. Some people had particular issues of why they left in the first place, and some people were maybe not just interested in Schmodown anymore, and they wanted more conversational stuff. Some people were tired of the Schmobot. Some people didn't want. And it was just such a great way to connect with everybody. And I was going back and forth. It was like 500 comments on this thing that I had done, and it was such a great way to interact. And I wanted to make sure that I did the same thing for this show, and I have been. So I say that with you guys. I want you guys to get involved. Let us know what is your like. If you want to put like a top 4, top 5 in the comments, or what are the ones that you're going to? Is it Disney Plus? Is it Hulu? Is it Amazon? Is it Apple? There's so much stuff out there, and there's so many different shows. And I get Netflix. I mean, Netflix, it's so funny now. It was always Netflix first.
Yes.
Not Netflix first anymore for everybody.
I agree.
Yeah, so
except for my kids.
Give me your top 5. What's going on in the household?
In the household, including my kids?
Everybody,
okay.
household.
Hulu.
Yeah.
For the adults.
Yep.
Then HBO for the adults.
Yeah. HBO Max.
HBO Max, excuse me.
Yeah.
And then Netflix for the children.
Yep.
And Disney Plus for the children and the adults.
Yeah.
And then fifth, I guess I would say Apple for Ted Lasso.
What do you got, Bret?
I think Apple TVs are our big one now because of Lasso and the Shmigadoon we were watching.
Oh,
but we're kind of all over the place. It's I don't
Depends
know.
on what it is, right?
Yeah. I think it's I hear somebody say something on the show and then I'll go, oh, I've got to check this out. So I think that's how I determine a lot of it, which is also why I tell Lonnie when she goes, hey, this looks good. I'm like, nobody's mentioned this. Yeah. I don't think this is going to be a good movie.
Right. Where do you wind up going, though? Like, do you find yourself usually clicking on? Which app do you find yourself clicking on the most?
God, that's tough.
Use the microphone.
Might be Hulu. Might be Hulu. With the Hulu.
Hulu?
Yeah.
So Hulu's one of my... Hulu is probably... I mean, I have the bundle package, so like...
you do? You have the live TV?
No,
you have the Disney Plus.
So it's Disney Plus, ESPN, and Hulu. It's like extra like $4 or something more. And I was like, I'm definitely, like, I might as well get that. I don't use ESPN as much as I probably should, but I love it. I would say because a mixture of, HBO Max I've been going to a lot lately. I've been going to HBO, and The Sopranos is probably one of these, but it's the releases of the movies. I'm not on Patty Jenkins' page when it comes to not liking the same day release, but I'm also not a filmmaker. Yeah. You know, so I get her gripe on it. I love it. I think it should continue forever. I know it will not. But I love HBO Max. But it's Disney Plus and HBO Max right now. I use, and then it's probably like, it might be Amazon. HBO Max, Amazon.
Amazon.
Yeah.
God, I would have to do more research because now I'm thinking Amazon too.
Because
also there's
Netflix,
you connect different ones to Amazon like Stars, and you can within that you can.
That's why. That's why, because I mean I used to do HBO through Amazon, but now because of the HBO Max I don't. But Paramount Plus I've been using more now because there's a lot of kids stuff on there. Yes. Paw Patrol and all that shit and they're starting to put in a couple more movies. And you know what? In Peacock, I've been starting to play around with a lot more because Peacock's only $4.99, and you're going to get all the Universal titles and all that stuff.
There's commercials at the $4.99 level.
Yeah, but it's not
I can't with that. I had to do the $9.99 level.
Okay.
And that was just because while we were on, and then I canceled it, but it was while we were living with my parents in the winter for a bit. Yeah. We didn't have any of the Harry Potter movies with us, and my son and I read the book, and then. Now that they're coming to
they're
HBO
also
Max
on Hulu.
now,
they're
but
on
they had been
Peacock.
on. But it was Peacock because it's Universal.
Right. So, well, that one's it's not crucial. It's not one that you don't really. But I have it. I think it's pretty good. I've been watching quite a few. But Paramount. The reason I got Paramount was for that movie that Mark Wahlberg did, a terrible movie, Irreversible, whatever the hell it was called. What the hell was that thing?
And that looked good to me. And I'm glad you told me before because I was like, I don't
forget what the hell it was called. It wasn't Irreversible, whatever it was.
Infinite.
Yeah, Infinite. Irreversible is a very different movie. But I wound up keeping it because my daughter watches all that. She watches everything on it. But they watch. It's Disney Plus for all the shit. She was watching like Elena of Avalor right now. Yes. We're watching all the Star Wars movies. Like
that's the thing. Star Wars in our family. Where is the Star Wars movie? Mm-hmm. Disney Plus will never go away.
Disney Plus and with all the Marvel shows and everything that they have now.
Droid Tales,
and it's cheap still, and it's still cheap. So that one is but HBO Max I found and their HBO Max has the best category of movies. Like the older movies and
Yep.
older and newer movies and
Yep.
like Netflix. Myself, I go to the least now.
Agreed. Me
I've
too.
thought about canceling Netflix. I won't because of Stranger Things. I want to see Stranger Things, and I don't. There's not a lot on Netflix I watch.
I heard Netflix has had a lot of inappropriate relationships with their secretary, so Netflix is probably canceling itself. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Nice, well done.
We did it. We
We
did
did it, buddy.
Check it out on
IG-11.
the Bret and Kate show. The Bret and Kate show. But yeah, I find myself going through I think HBO Max and that's pivoting over to basically the comments that Patty Jenkins made, right, about the same day release thing. As right now with the variant, that's the only way I'm watching movies. Yeah. It's either like I know a lot of people are still going to theaters, and we've had this conversation. A lot of people know I'm not going to theaters right now. Right, I'm hoping that I can get back to because there's certain movies I want to see on the big screen. I want to see Dune on the big screen. I want to see Spider-Man No Way Home on the big screen.
Yes.
Those are two movies in general. There's other movies I want to see The Matrix on the big screen, but I'm happy as shit that The Matrix is coming out on HBO Max. I'm happy as shit that the Many Saints of Newark are coming out on HBO Max day of. I don't have to wait for it. I love that, but it's a matter of how they're going to restructure how movies are made. Exactly. That's what you have to do.
I think the other thing that like nobody's actually brought up, and this is I'm actually about to make a serious point, so you guys just hold your jokes. But I was gonna say, I think about like Dickie has a cousin who has CP, who is wheelchair bound, and I think about how amazing it is that they don't have to put him in the van to get him to movies anymore. And I'm not saying that people that have any sort of disability don't want to go in person. But
I know
I'm
what you mean,
like,
but
there's
it's
an accessibility thing.
If he really wants to watch and he doesn't feel like going out, he can.
Because in order for Dickie's cousin to get to a movie theater, there has to. It's the entire family. Like they have to get him into the van,
right?
And then they have to get him out. It's
and an opening night that's a packed theater, and
it just seems to me like it's there. It's also it is benefiting a group of people that has been underserved by. This
that
industry
100%, and even the more like let's say selfish people like parents, right? And I say that jokingly because parents, obviously, there's a lot of people like yourself and my wife. Everything you put into your life are your kids. You do everything for your kids, and even if
Lonnie's a piece of shit.
She's not here, but I need to say it. Sadie's over there.
Yeah,
but yes, but you're home though too, right? So you're doing a lot of all you guys and everybody we with our kids, working with our kids and having so much fun with our kids, but they're exhausting also because they're children, right? So even if Dickie says to you, you know what, let's go to the movies tonight.
I would die, first of all. He's never said that phrase to me, ever.
But if you did...
Let me check your temperature. Are you having an affair?
Yes, I am, and she loved the movie, and I'd love for you to see it as well. If you did that, and there is that thing, and maybe let me just go to dinner. Let's talk, because we don't get to do that.
Yes.
And then we'll just go home and watch a movie.
100%.
Because it's also, if you take the kids out to the movie, you're dropping... maybe with food and snacks, $50-$60 for everything, as opposed to, hey, the Paw Patrol movie. My kids just watched the Paw Patrol movie. It dropped on Paramount Plus.
Yeah, that's amazing. Yeah.
So now the Paw Patrol movie, that one I was going to take my youngest. It was going to be her first movie. She still has not been.
Still not gone to a movie.
Never been to a movie.
I know, it's so sad.
That was a bummer, but I still would have dropped between the four of us going to the movies probably like $40 or $50 for that movie.
Yeah.
Cost me $6.
Yes.
Because I have a subscription to Paramount Plus. They watched it, got them some treats, had some food, and that was it. And there are some movies that need to be watched in the theater, there's no doubt. But I think having this thing for families is
still too. I do feel like I do think there are benefits to this. I think that there are those of us who are gonna still want to go to a theater or still want to take our kids to the theater for the first time. But I do think I think that ultimately I'm always surprised that Patty Jenkins just keeps talking, because it seems to me like she was also the one that was like, Wonder Woman will 100%, Wonder Woman 2, 1984 will never, ever be released digitally until it got released digitally.
Well,
what are you talking about?
Yeah, and she really didn't have a say on it, unfortunately. The same thing.
I know, so then don't talk about it like you're in control of it.
I understand when directors want to hold their stuff, especially because the difference with movies like whether it's that one or Dune or any of these movies, right? The thing is, all of those movies were set out to be made for theaters. They were put into 100%. The HBO Max plan because that's the way we had to pivot for Schmodown and put everything digital. They had to pivot. And they go, what do we do? Well, here's what we could do.
Yes.
We'll probably lose some money on this shit.
Yes.
But if we release everything, we can put some of them out in the theaters, and if people are going to movie theaters, great. But if not, let's announce that we're going to put The Matrix out. We're going to do Dune. We're going to do all of our movies this year, and let's see how many subscribers we get. We're going to lose money, but we're also going to get a lot of subscribers. So then in 2022, let's start making our budgets a little cheaper, but aim them for HBO Max. Yes. And then we can still put some big budget movies out in the theater, capitalize there, and then we start to, we have a subscriber base now. So I get the strategy of it.
I also really respect anybody who's like, I don't want my movie to be released on digital. I respect that. But what I'm saying is I feel like there's like a certain certainty with which she was speaking about stuff.
She's trying to put it into motion. I know, she's trying to put it into motion. But
I just feel like, what are we? Anyway.
Well, and for us, we are going to the theater, like you said, our dates, as few as they are dinner and conversation. We don't want to go sit in a theater and not talk to each other. And we're just as amazed by a film that's on an old 46-inch LCD screen. You know, it's like we enjoy that, and then we can go pee and whatever. So I'm not somebody that thinks that theater shouldn't be supported. I'm not the person that's going to support them.
And that's but that's the other thing is I want to watch. I still want to get back into and I'm a bit of a hypocrite because I have all these things at Access and I still haven't watched the fucking Suicide Squad. But
we got to see that opening night, which is crazy for me. Is that we actually saw a film on opening night.
And so I guess. You wouldn't be able to drag me away from watching Many Saints of Newark on my birthday. I'm going to have a big bowl of pasta. I'm going to have a glass of wine. That's my night. I am watching that movie. I might watch it back here to be the fuck away from everybody so I can just watch it. Or watch it with my wife and then come back and watch it again, right? Yes. But I know that I can.
Yes.
And I think that there's I do understand the argument and probably support the fact that what they're ultimately going to do is, I think in order to make the business model work and to support the families that don't want to see it in the theater, is that window thing that they're doing, the 30 or 60-day window, right? So it's, okay, movie comes out in the theaters, you HBO Max subscriber? Well, you should be because it's going to be available, and you're not going to have to wait 4 or 5 months. You have to wait 2 months, and then it's going to be right on the app. Because there's such a turnaround with all the movies that are coming into the theater anyway. I mean, I think 30-day window to me would be because that's when the box office starts to kind of dwindle down anyway.
And I think you're right. I think there's absolutely some movies like Dune for me for sure is going to be gotta see it in. Gotta see it in person.
That one. I really
100%.
Yeah.
And not only that, I'm going to try and see it in an IMAX.
There you go.
100%. Look, I was so bummed. I had 3 opportunities to go see Shang-Chi in the theater. I turned them all down.
Yeah.
And it was like it killed me to do it because
weird brag.
Yeah. It's not a brag.
No, I'm just kidding.
I could have taken you guys with me.
No, I could have
but I'm saying because I had plus ones to all of them. But I wanted.
What'd you have?
I just was like because that one I want to see on the big screen. But I'll be excited to watch it once it hits Disney Plus.
Yes.
That one was not, and I don't love. Although I understand why they do it, I still do not love the $30 thing for Disney Plus.
Don't do it. I don't do it. I don't do it anymore. I did it. Fool me once on Mulan.
Yeah, I did it for Raya and the Last Dragon because my daughter really wanted to see it. That was the only one I did it for. Because here's my issue with the Disney Plus part of it. If I did not have Disney Plus and Black Widow comes out and then it's $30 on when you go to Amazon, I get it.
100%.
When you go to buy it somewhere else and it's $30, I get it.
Yep.
If I'm a subscriber, I should have some extra benefits that you don't have Disney Plus. I do. I go there, $30 for you, not for me.
Yep.
Because that's going to incentivize you. Well, shit, I'm spending these monies. There's things that's coming out. So I think that might change down the line also. But they had to. The reason why I do understand why they did it for this one is the same reason why. The budgets for these movies were massive, and they had to find a way. So
I know.
So I understand. I just hope it's not a continuing thing moving on.
Right.
Yeah.
Listen. I won't do it anymore.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think I don't know. I would be like, well, at that point, I'll wait.
Wait. I've waited for Black Widow. You still have waited for it, right?
Yeah.
I've waited for it. And I really want to see that movie.
Yeah.
I'm really looking forward to seeing that film. And that's probably going to be. And
I've come close.
I've come close.
And then I go, no, I've got other stuff I can.
CUM close.
Yeah.
But I have been watching and waiting for that one to come out because my wife and I really want to watch that one.
Yeah.
So, but it's like, okay, well, you know what? Now we have something to look forward to. Instead of dropping down the $30, and there's tons of other shit that we can watch, even though we still do the same fucking thing of like 20 minutes. How about this? No, I'm not watching Beverly Hills Cop again. No. Another Sandra Bullock. No, keep going. No. I do a search of Tom Hanks. No. That's for like a half an hour. Happens all of the time.
I can't believe you guys just skipped Big. Wow.
Yeah.
We started watching Big with my oldest.
Love.
And she was just like,
Zoltar's a little scary too.
It's all right, but it's a great one.
Speaking of Big, we saw Shazam.
Oh, Shazam's good.
Yeah, it was fun. Finally
Hey.
Didn't you start watching that? Oh, you didn't.
No.
You never saw it.
No,
You never saw it.
No.
Don't want to. No interest.
I love Shazam and the Schmodown. I love that team.
But not the actual character.
I just don't. I just don't.
Do you not like Zachary Levi?
Is that it?
I love Zachary Levi.
Okay.
No, I.
Who hurt you in Shazam? Who hurt you?
And why was it an animal named Pete?
Yeah.
Okay, well, first of all, when he was scratching at the door.
That's right.
He said.
He was not scratching.
He wasn't scratching. He was tapping.
He was
tapping on the door. He said, "Let me in," and I said, "Okay, you're just a fuzzy little." What was the name of that animal?
Biscuit.
Biscuit.
No, it wasn't Biscuit. It was Shunky.
Shunky Biscuit. He
Shunky
was a
Biscuit.
Shunky Biscuit.
Hello, Shunky Biscuit.
Yes and no.
That's right. Look, this was fun.
This was fun.
I'm glad that I'm gonna actually try to play the real music this time.
I don't know. The Sith Council music's really dope.
It was good. That's a David B. special. I can't even see anything.
Well, we've learned that Kate doesn't want to support theaters. She hopes they all die. What was it?
I actually think it's really good.
Good.
I want the general Emperor Palpatine.
Hey, this was a lot of fun to everybody. Thank you guys so much for joining us on the show here today. This is The Big Thing. Kay Mulligan, Bret Sheridan. Check them out on Bret and Kate's Playdate. It's on SEN Live, the Patreon. Join over at the SEN Live. Now, besides that, if you guys join at the SEN Live Patreon, you guys can get the entire SEN Live library, which is only available to patrons. It's not on YouTube anymore. It is on Twitch, Monday through Friday, 10 to 12 p.m. Leave your comments. I'm going to respond to everybody here. Apple Podcasts, the whole damn thing. We'll be back on Wednesday, ladies and gents. See you on the flip side. Thanks for joining us on The Big Thing. Get yourself some MANSCAPED. I ain't kidding around.